How to overcome I need to think about it objection. So this is the number one excuse of why people don't buy. And I love this conversation because it shows me that people are interested, not committed, that they're putting you off at some level. So let's dig into this. I need to think about it. And I'm going to give you some solutions at the end of the video, what you can do when people tell you, I need to think about it. So the 3 things I want to talk about is just understanding that hesitation. Like, what's the hesitation of I need to think about it? The second thing is reaffirming the value and how you're the solution and why you're the right answer. And then lastly, how do you guide that prospect into some actual action? So what's the hesitation about when people say I need to think about it? I actually think it's that same inherited conversation, like when you walk by somebody say, well, how are you today? And they say, fine. I think it's just a rehearsed line of I got to think about it to just put people off. So they could be in a hurry. They could actually just have to go think about it. They could have to talk to a partner or a spouse about it, or just like think about it from a standpoint of analysis, which is a smarter way to say I got to think about it, but you want to dig in. The minute you have someone say I got to think about it, when people tell me that they have to think about it, and I know what I know about money, business, finance, I know they don't even know what to think about because they don't have the context that's wide enough. Their context of money is usually about this big. Most people's, how they're living. They don't understand corporate life, trust, why they need insurance. Clearly don't know how to tie it together, which is why we do integrated wealth the way we do it. So when people say I got to think about it, I think, well, I got to dig in. So what do you have to think about is my first objection handling question. When they say I got to think about it, I say, what do you have to think about? And then they'll say what they have to think about. So at that point, I might ask them what kind of knowledge base they have around what they need to think about. Like, are they a beginner, intermediate, advanced thinker, or actually have any access to knowledge? Because a lot of times people say, well, it's really scary for me and I'm really nervous. And that really isn't about a mindset issue. That's a behavioral issue, and it's a lack of knowledge issue. You don't know about money, so you have a hesitation about it. So instead of calling it something else, let's call it what it is. I just don't know about it. I've never studied it. I haven't studied money. I haven't studied taxes. I haven't studied any of this. I mean, my son has a finance and accounting degree, master's in accounting, becoming a CPA, and still to this day would say, Mom, I have never, ever been taught anything that you teach. Why? Because I teach you how to be a true entrepreneur and wealth builder, right? A true entrepreneur wealth builder knows marketing, sales, and cash flow. So when people say I got to think about it, and they've only been an employee their whole life, how are they going to think about what they're going to do, much less how they're going to market in a very digital marketing age? How are they going to sell in a Zoom or some sort of online process? How are they going to do a session? They've never sold anything in their life. I always laugh, and when I get that excuse too, I'll say, well, I've never sold anything. I'm scared of selling. And again, it's a lack of knowledge, a lack of experience. You haven't done it before. And then, my ongoing joke is, well, are you married? Or I've been in a relationship before, and I said, well, at least you've sold somebody one time something. So kind of funny joke. But a lot of you, it's a lack of knowledge. So just call it what it is and lean in and learn. Say, so what do I need to learn about to get past this hesitation of saying, I got to think about it all the time? The other thing that I do when they say got to think about it is, again, understand what do they need to think about. And if they need something to create more knowledge, I'll give them something very small that's consumable in less than 30 minutes. Like I might give them an audio, or I might give them 1 or 2, 3 chapters. In fact, let's do that right now. I'm going to give you 3 chapters to my Millionaire Maker book. I want you to go all the way through to a gap analysis. And then through the gap analysis, I want you to call our office, have a one-on-one strategy session, and just see the experience of what it takes to be an entrepreneur. You say, well, that's just because that's what you do. No, I pretty much do what I teach all sorts of industries. And I have owned supplement companies to recycled glass companies to tons of real estate to a lot of gas and oil wells. It's the same process. It's where are you, what do you want, and how can we create a solution? It's not as difficult as you think. It's just so different than you've ever been trained. The next thing is reaffirming their value. So again, I go back to always my favorite question out of I got to think about it is, what do you want? And how much do you want it on a scale of 1 to 10? Do you want this or do you want the answer? Like, do you want the true result? Because a lot of people come here and they want the result, but they don't want to do the work that it takes. We are not a done for you, it is a done with you process. Because this is your life, your business, your money. And it's fascinating because you really got to put down that big value of the what do you want and why do you want it. When people are anchored to that, and the technique I use is called an ask, tell, ask. And I teach that at our Millionaire Intensive. So I'm going to give you 2 tickets to the Millionaire Intensive. And quite frankly, if you have a family of 5, 6 people, just get a ticket for everyone. everybody income. It's once a month. You can attend as many times as you want to learn corporate life. More importantly, learn the ask, tell, ask. So when I went through $1 million worth of sales training late 1990s, early 2000s, it was really manipulative sales techniques. It's all the stuff that you kind of shy away saying, oh, I don't want to be that slimy salesperson. And that when you really get down to selling, it's solving someone's problem. So I'm going to ask you what your problem is. I'm going to tell you why I'm a solution. I'm going to ask you for a next step or your money. Like, it's that simple. Now, you can say, well, it's simple for you, Laurel. And it wasn't simple. I'm a farm girl from Nebraska. If I can learn this, and I was actually a little on the shyer side, believe it or not, when I was younger, and you learn this behavior of what it takes to run a company and influence behavior towards what it is you want to do. Like, if you would truly say out there, and I'm just going to say this to all of you, that you want to help people and you have a solution that is amazing to help people, then why are you playing so small? Why are you playing in such a small little box and you're going to allow somebody to say, I got to think about it, to stop you from making some money? Because if you do not close them and help them for cash, right? It's a certificate of appreciation, we call it, then they're going to go somewhere else. And what I find with a lot of you that have great products or services is you're educating the client about why the benefit of what you do, but you're not closing them on you being the benefit. You're just educating them about the idea. And then they go off to somebody else. Like, how many of you literally could add up that you have lost hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in a sales situation because all you did is educate them about what you do and why you're the best, but you don't say, and how do you want to pay? So when they say they got to think about it, find out what they have to think about, answer the question very quickly, short, actionable results, something that they can read, something they can listen to, and you set a next step immediately. Now, before I go on to the juiciest part at the end, I want you to subscribe to my channel. I want you here 5 days a week. Click that notification button so it actually pops into your phone, and listen to the videos. If you have questions, you're going to go to askloral.com, ASKLORAL, ask a question, make a request. We're here 5 days a week for you and your family. Please get your kids into entrepreneurial ventures as fast as you can. It's critical that they start learning and leaning in to being able to sell, right? Parents, you are not the bank account for your kids. They have total ability to start companies. If you haven't got my Make Your Kids Millionaires book, make sure you've grabbed that at some point. And there's 87 things that you coulda, shoulda, woulda done between 0 and 20 to learn all these skills. Now, the last thing is, how do you guide the prospect into their next action? So if they're really stuck on, I got to think about it, again, a small actionable step. What is the one thing that if I solved it for you today, you wouldn't have to think about it, right? You could also say, what's this worth to you? Like, that is an important question to me. Like, is it worth, reducing your taxes by $20, $30, $40, $100,000? What's that worth to you? Well, it'd be worth saving that much in taxes. So you're either going to pay the IRS or you're going to pay yourself, is some of my objection handling. So the way you've come up with objection handling responses is start recording calls, listening to what is the frequently asked questions, what are the frequently asked objections, because I got to think about it's just one of them. Another one is I don't have time. I mean, I could go on and on about the objections. You need to have some responses on how to handle them and give them small actionable steps and ask them, what's the minimum that you're willing to do to start today? Because I know I'm the person that's going to solve the problem. You're not ready for the whole solution. So what's one thing we could do today? Could you just buy a book? Like in my situation, I would say, do you want to buy a book? Do you want a recording? What can we do today to have you learn enough that you'd be back for another call in the next 48 hours or 24 hours or whatever you want to say? So I could teach this forever and ever. I've taught it with Les Brown. I've taught it all over the world. Love it. Love to help you make money. Making money is a choice. It is a skill set and it is a knowledge base. It is nothing scary about it other than you want to go help people and serve them and change their life. Again, if you have any questions, go to askloral.com, ask a question, make a request. We'll be back tomorrow.